Hello, and welcome to STEM with Sam. Today we are going to be constructing the main house and connecting up all the electronics using these cables. Now, we are going to start by first assembling all of the four walls together, not onto this. The reason is because there's these slots prepared for these, but if that's already in, you've got to put that in, just like so, and then slot it on, which you can't do when it's fixed. So first, we're going to grab board K and board F. Now, these will be what? So they all go perpendicular to each other. You want this to be in this gap. Now, you can either put these bits on as you go. These are to hold it in place, or you can put them all together once the whole thing's assembled. I would recommend putting these in first. Apologies about my voice, I have a cold. And there you have it. There's one connected. Next, we're going to connect the other wall. This is because there are two pieces that go in between wall K and wall J. So, put it in like that. Grab another one of these. And there you have it. And there's that in. Next, we need to grab H and M. Now, these go into two slots in wall J, just like so, if you can see. Then, very carefully, you grab wall J, and first you put it onto these longer ones that come out of it. Now, once you're there, you can then move the internal pieces to suit your needs. Just like so. Now, if one comes out, it's likely because it's not been secured in properly. And before you do finally secure everything together, make sure the correct pieces are on the outside. Now, like with the others, grab one of these, put them in on both sides again. And there's the main part sorted. Now, I'm going to, because we're also doing the electronics this episode and connecting them all up with the wires, I'm going to connect this to the motherboard and also put the cable on the side here through the hole. Now that's done, next we're going to attach it to G. Now, it looks like it can go any way round, but it can't. This hole here indicates which way is the front, because the door goes there. And the door onto this goes in this hole just over here, next to the cog. So, you've got to put in the door, make sure it stays on. Now, there's a chance there's a screw for this. I'm not going to use screws. And there it is, it's in. It's engaged with the servo. Always make sure it's engaged with the servo. Then, G facing into the G facing into the actual building itself. And it's almost in fully. Just got to put this one in and the other side in. And then it's on. Next, we're going to grab these. And once again, we're going to put them in. Now, always give them a little wiggle. Makes it a lot easier. Now for some of them, you'll notice that the board covers up the holes. All we've got to do is push down, and whilst you're pushing down in the area, you've got to just put it in, just like so. Now, not all of them will make a click like mine are doing. Some will just slot in. That just means life's a little bit easier. Yeah, just like that one. Now I've only got 2 left. This is if you need to go back and have a look at something, you can always rewind the video to have a look. And there you have it, the main bit of the house assembled. Next, we are assembling these onto it. Now, make sure you've got a light nearby so that you can actually see what you're doing, because all these, you need to make sure they're in the right spot and the right way round. I would recommend first actually connecting the wires up. Black to whichever one says G, so ground. So on the buttons it would be this way round. Now also I would also recommend to put it through first, because you may not have space to do that after you've connected it. Just like so, one is in. Now, the way you can identify which way round these wires go is by looking at the colour and remembering which one goes where. Now, black's usually the easiest to identify, as black is also ground on the circuits. Now, it's really simple. All you've got to do is match the blacks up and then push it on. You'll be a little hard, just make sure you're not too hard. Now, do this with all the servos before you finish up doing it with the rest of them. And it's the same way round. There's no difference. Just like that, I've got one servo in. Time for the other servo. Now, as long as the 3-pin ones are matched up with the 3 cabled ones, you'll be all good, because there are only 3 of the 4 connection point ones, which are these ones, going to the motor, the RFID and the analog gas sensor. Now next, we are going to grab another one of these red, orange and black cables. Sorry, yellow, orange and black. And we are going to do the same process just with the other button. Now make sure black's lined up with ground. Thread it through once again. Then put it on. And just like that, I've got another one through. That one just goes in, just like all the others. Now, this may get really complicated with the wiring super quickly. There are holes, but they're not designed for the size of the cables. Now next, we're actually going to very quickly move on to the 4-cabled ones. Now, not all of these are actually going to a place that there is already on this. This one I'm going to use for the motor. Now, I don't think it matters because they're all doing the exact same thing. Now, you may want to actually have a look at what you're connecting to before actually putting them in. So for the motor, I'm going to have the outside grey one be in negative. Now you look for it on the board. It may not have it. You still just put it into the regular 4 one. Yep. So now you may notice with the one I'm using for the motor, it has 4 connection points. These are, it doesn't matter which way round they go. All that matters is that they are, well, it doesn't matter which way round they go at switch, as long as you remember which way round they are for the motor. I've almost got them all finished. There we go, that's all finished. Next we shall move on to the slightly easier 4 ones. So you've got this. So black is going to be ground once again. There we go, it's in. Now it's easy to do black being ground, as black is also the code for ground onto the board. Make sure it's the right way round, then plug on. And now I've got the analog gas sensor complete, time to do the RFID. Now the RFID is probably one of the hardest ones to do because it's on the inside, not the outside. Now you could counteract this by having it being done on the outside before you assemble the whole thing. Apologies. Now I am very quickly going to attempt to slot out H just to make life a little easier. Now you want to have a look. Now these are all actually different because it's a information thing instead of just like something else. So I'm going to have black be, I can't really see much from here, what looks to be duller. So black, just like so. Alright, and that's in. Now, you've got Doa, which is conveniently it's not actually Doa, it is GND. I'm going to very quickly take out the one going to the motor. I'm going to also very quickly put in this one. So black to black on the board. There we are. Now I'm going to very quickly reattach. Oh, got the grey and the white the wrong way round. And just like that, all the 4 cables are connected to the main board. Now we shall finish off with all the other ones. So next we're going to do the PIR. Now I just noticed that there's another 4 one, but there's no 4 cables. Now I'm not sure why, but we are short of 1 4 cable. It shouldn't matter too much unless you really want to have that screen working, but you don't need it, it's not necessary. Anyway, back to the PIR, same thing as usual, black to gold, sorry, black to G. There we go, that's on there. Put it through if it's not fully through. Then connect it to the corresponding ones. And now that's on. Now servo is already done, so next we're going on to the buzzer. Now connecting the electronics looks complicated, but it's actually really simple. It's just a matter of making sure you grab the right wire and put it in the right place. Now don't worry about them being a little tense, they will be a little tense, that's how they are. But once you've got all of these attached, now it's just left to attach the H if you've taken it off for the RFID, and then doing the roof. Now I'd recommend attaching the ones for the roof to the board beforehand, and because of the convenient colour coding, it's easy to identify which one's ground, which one's what. I would recommend doing the motor first, as it's the one that's got 4 and you may not remember which way round it goes. You can keep on telling yourself which one goes where, so like brown's on the outside connected to G and D, or you could tell yourself black's second in, or something. Anyway, I have now almost got the RGB module connected, so I'm going to just finish that off. Alright, and that's in. Now, these last cables are for what is on the top. Now, there is also a chance that this could actually be for something completely different, but the motor might not be able to function without 4. I'll have a quick look on the box. Yes, it does have 4. And actually, it's the right way round. Alright, well, let's connect all these up. Now, I'll likely connect one of these up to the board and see if it works. If not, it doesn't really matter because you'll always have one spare. Now, I'm not sure which way round to put it, but you can just connect it to any. But if you want it to function, you'll have to have one of the 4 ones. But I'm not interested in it functioning, I'm just interested in everything else functioning. Right, there's one for that. There's 2, and now the final one. Now we put on the roof. Now make sure it's secured beforehand. So grab these. Alright, there's one in. There's 2 in. Next comes the wires. So remember, black's ground. And ground is this one. So this way round. And connection. I'm also going to very quickly do this one. So ground is on G and D, this case. Let's see if I can actually get it through here. Now, I'm assuming that it would just go like this. So that to there, that to there, that to there, and that to there. And now only 2 connections left. Right, same as usual. Black to G. And then the last one. Pull it in, pull it in, and now all that's left to do is attach piece L to the other side. And all that's left to do is attach this. Completely wired and completely built. Next time we are going to have a look at the coding. I hope you're ready for the coding. It's going to be a tough one. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.